Afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Buthaina Hamed. I am the Associate Director at St. George's University School of Medicine. It's lovely to see a diverse group of students joining us from all around the world today, which is great. And it's really part of who we are as SGU, so it's exciting to see. So a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you to those of you who joined a little bit early ahead of today's session, and thank you for your patience as we start today's session. So as I said, my name is Buthaina Hamed, and I am the Associate Director at St. George's University School of Medicine. And in today's presentation, we are going to cover the top 10 questions that, based on our experience, you would be asking yourself when thinking about a career in medicine. So we're here all today because you all want to become future doctors, and you're definitely in the right place today. So we're here to talk about your future in medicine, and we're here to talk about your future in medicine with St. George's University School of Medicine. St. George's University School of Medicine was actually founded 45 years ago. And over the last 45 years, we've acquired just over 19,000 students from our School of Medicine. Today, those 19,000 students are licensed and practicing physicians in all 50 states in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, and in over 50 countries around the world. We're a very diverse community. We had our very first international student during our very first cohort in 1977. Today, we have 103 different nationalities represented from all around the world. The image in front of you is our main campus, and we refer to this campus as our True Blue campus. And our True Blue campus is on the beautiful and sunny island of Grenada, the Caribbean. And as you can see, it is a state-of-the-art facility. It is a purpose-built campus with 65 buildings on premises, including all of our teaching facilities, our library, our study hall, our students' accommodation, a number of outlets and restaurants, in addition to a gym, outdoor recreation activities, our own private beach, and a shuttle bus that runs from 7 a.m. until 2 a.m. within campus and within a 5-mile radius of campus. And in today's presentation, we're going to cover the top 10 questions, and we will also include some information about the campus later on. So as I said, we have graduated just over 19,000 successful physicians who today are licensed and practicing physicians in over 50 countries around the world. So I'm going to start with the questions that you may have. And before I do so, this is just a reminder to everyone that if you do have any questions throughout the presentation about any of the content that I will be covering, please feel free to drop those questions in the chat box, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. So I'm going to start with the first question, which is a really important question, is will I get a US residency with St. George's University School of Medicine? As we all know, medicine is a huge investment. We all know, the time, the effort that goes into a career in medicine. And as a result of that, for those of you who are considering becoming licensed physicians in the US, you know that one of the criteria that you have to meet is you have to complete a residency in the USA in order to be able to become a licensed and practicing physician in the United States. So it's really, really important to understand if you will be able to obtain a US residency. Now, what I will tell you is St. George's University School of Medicine is the #1 provider into first-year US residencies, and we have been for the last 12 years combined. And what that means is there isn't a medical school in the world that places the same number of international graduates onto first-year US residencies as we have done so for the last 12 years. So for example, you can see that we have 1,090 plus US residencies and still counting. Now, as a percentage, that's 88%, 88% residency placement rate at the time of graduation for eligible international graduates who applied for US residencies, and that is over the last 3 years combined. So last year, for example, it was a 91% residency placement rate for our eligible international students. And this is a percentage that we're extremely proud of, because if you look at the percentage of international students at US medical schools who are able to obtain a US residency upon graduation, then that percentage has consistently been below 60%. And with us, over the last 3 years, it has been 88%. And what that means is there is no other medical school in the world that provides more new doctors into the US healthcare system as St. George's University School of Medicine does. So a really, really great opportunity and a huge competitive advantage when joining us. So we are actually the largest source of physicians for the entire US workforce. And what that means is there isn't a medical school in the world, whether that be a US medical school or an international medical school, that has the same number of graduates that we do who are currently licensed in the US. So out of our 19,000 plus alumni, 11,627 of them are currently licensed in the US. So you can see it's one of our biggest competitive advantages, and it's one of the main reasons as to why students join SGU. And obviously, the ability to obtain a student residency, the ability of us becoming the largest source of physicians for the entire US workforce is something that doesn't just happen. Obviously, it requires a lot of effort on the students' parts, and also a lot of effort and dedication on our part as an institution. And what we do at St. George's University School of Medicine is offer students a very personalized support and guidance system. And we do this through a number of different offices, but one of those major offices is our Office of Career Guidance and Student Development. And what that office includes is basically 40 plus advisors who have got 40 plus years of experience in supporting our students with residency placement. And what they do is they develop a personalized, individualized residency strategy. So for every single SGU student, these advisors work with the students from the get-go to ensure that they are applying to residencies they highly qualify for and they are the best match for. And they work with SGU students to make sure that they are looking at similar SGU alumni profiles who had similar experiences, similar interests, and an overall similar profile to really learn from those experiences. So it's a huge, huge advantage and a very personalized support and guidance that is offered by SGU to each and every one of our students. And obviously what the advisors do is work with you on supporting you with your CV, your interview skills, your residency application, and with every single aspect of the application that you require support with. Now, the second question that you should be considering is, how will SGU's clinical network help me in obtain a residency? This is really important. So when you study medicine, the last 2 years with us are clinical rotations. And with clinical rotations, it means that you're still a student, you're still learning, you're still paying tuition fees. But instead of learning on campus in lectures, laboratories, or small group settings, you are actually learning through clinical training at our affiliated hospitals. And we have a network of 75 plus hospitals and health systems in 2 countries, and those are the US and the UK. In the US, we have our affiliated hospitals in 12 different states, as you can see below, including California, Los Angeles, New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Ohio, and others. And in the UK, our affiliated hospitals are mainly in the south of England, but we also have hospitals in London and in the Midlands. Within each of our affiliated hospitals, we have SGU clinical faculty and a number of different staff who are there to support you throughout your clinical rotations. And I'll talk to you more about that support moving forward. So as a total, we have 1,500 SGU clinical faculty within our affiliated hospitals. So the clinical support that each and every one of you as a student gets basically includes staff members within each of those hospitals and at SGU University. So at each of those hospitals, you'll have a director of medical education, clerkship directors, clinical faculty, and medical education coordinators. And at SGU, you will have a dean of medicine, dean of clinical training, associate deans, department chairs, placement and clinical coordinators, and the Office of Career Guidance and Student Development. And each and every one of our staff members are in place to ensure that each of you achieves their fullest potential. Now, the third question that I'd like to cover is, does my education at St. George's University prepare me for the USMLE? Now, for those of you who are considering a career in medicine in the United States, again, one of the conditions in order for you to become a licensed physician in the United States is not only to complete a residency in the US, as we stated, but the other condition as well is you have to pass your USMLE Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. Now, the USMLE is the United States Medical Licensing Exam, and you take the USMLE Step 1 after your basic sciences. You take your USMLE Step 2, which basically tests your clinical knowledge and clinical skills during your last year of clinical rotations, and you take your USMLE Step 3 during your residency placement. Now, SGU students from 30 countries had a 94% first-time pass rate on the USMLE Step 1 in 2020. So as you can see, we have outstanding results when it comes to the USMLE, and we are on par with US medical schools based in the US. Now, the program itself that we offer is an MD degree, which is a medical doctor degree. And a medical doctor degree is a postgraduate course of study, and it is a US-style curriculum. And we offer the MD degree at a number of different entry levels. So we offer the 4-year MD degree, the 5-year MD degree, the 6-year MD degree, and the 7-year MD degree. Now, each of those entry levels depends on your academic background. So we'll give a few examples here so you get a clear understanding of the program. So for example, if you are a student who has already completed a Bachelor's of Science in Biomedical Sciences or any related field, you would be eligible to apply to our 4-year MD degree. If you are a student, for example, who has or is currently completing 3 full A levels, or for example, an IB diploma, then you would be eligible to apply to our 5-year MD degree. If you are a student who has AS level or equivalent, then you would be eligible to apply to our 6-year MD degree. And finally, if you have GCSEs or equivalent, then you would be eligible to apply to our 7-year MD degree. Now, another very common entry onto our 7-year MD degree is students who graduate from high school. So if you've completed high school, for example, a national curriculum in your home country, 12 years of schooling, then you would be eligible to apply to our 7-year MD degree. And what you will see under each and every one of those years is either one or multiple flags represented. And what those flags represent are a possible location. So we'll take the 7-year MD as an example because it's our longest program and it will cover all the other programs within as well. So if we look at the 7-year MD degree, then you can see that it includes 3 years of preclinical sciences. So preclinical sciences 1, preclinical sciences 2, and preclinical sciences 3. It then moves on to include 2 years of basic sciences, followed by 2 years of clinical rotations. Now you can see for preclinical sciences 1, there's only 1 flag represented, which means it is mandatory for you to complete that year on our main campus in Grenada. Now for preclinical sciences 2, you can see there are 2 flags represented. So you can complete this year either on our main campus, or we have a partner university here in the UK, which is Northumbria University in the city of Newcastle. For preclinical sciences 3, you can see there are 3 flags represented, which means you can complete this year either on our main campus in Grenada, at our partner university in the UK, which is Northumbria University, or at our partner university in India, which is Ramaiah University. You then move on to your basic sciences, and for your first year of basic sciences, you can see you can complete this year either on our main campus in Grenada or at our partner university in the UK, which is Northumbria University. And for basic sciences too, you can see there's only 1 flag represented, which means it is mandatory to complete this year on our main campus in Grenada. You then move on to the last 2 years, and those are the clinical rotations that I was referring to. So you're still a student, you're still learning, you're still paying tuition fees, but you are now learning through clinical training at our affiliated hospitals. So you can complete those years at our 70 plus affiliated hospitals in the US or in the UK. Now you can see, again, this is one of our competitive advantages because we offer students the opportunity to be subjected to a number of different medical healthcare systems before you've even graduated from your MD degree. And that gives you a huge competitive advantage when it comes to applying to your residency. And it's important to know as well that it is an SGU curriculum taught by SGU faculty, leading to the same SGU outcomes. So the quality of education is the same regardless of the location. You are just being offered the opportunity to be subjected to different medical healthcare systems, to get a cross-cultural experience, and to really grow not only your personal but also your professional network. So just a recap in terms of location, we have our main campus in Grenada, the Caribbean. We have our partner university in the UK, which is Northumbria University, and we have our partner university in India, which is Ramaiah University. And then we have our affiliated hospitals in the UK and our affiliated hospitals in the United States as well. Okay, so the next question that we're going to cover, how will I be supported to succeed in my medical education? And this is a really important question, and this is where I refer back to the personalized support and guidance system that is offered at SGU. So 75% of your classes and labs are actually given through a ratio of 8:1. So for every 8 students, there's 1 faculty member, which is a very personalized approach to studying medicine, and one that not many medical schools out there in the world will be able to offer you. And this is really crucial as part of the personalized support that we offer. Another thing as well that we do is within our School of Medicine, we have 9 different colleges, and each of those colleges are their own learning communities. So they have their own dean, their own associate deans, their own faculty, their own advisors. And prior to you joining SGU, you will be allocated to one of our 9 colleges. And each of those colleges is there to focus on your small group learning, your wellness and support, and your personal and professional development. We also have a dedicated support system that is in place just to focus on your success. So as you know, we offer academic programs in a state-of-the-art facility to prepare you not only for the SGU exams, but also for your USMLE, your residency placements and beyond. So it's an interactive team. The facilities themselves, obviously, and then obviously we offer long-term retention by offering you opportunities for reinforcement and integration. Now, in terms of our faculty themselves, our faculty are either MDs or PhDs themselves, and we have around 2,000 faculty members. 1,500 of them are clinical faculty in our 75 plus affiliated hospitals. Just under 500 are based in Grenada, and then we have just over 200 visiting professors from all around the world. In addition to that, we have a Department of Educational Services that are in place to support you in achieving your success. They offer 450 different webinars that really focus on skill development to each and every one of our students. A number of different skills obviously are focused on, such as time management skills, study skills, test taking skills, note taking skills, and others. And then we also obviously have a number of different international offices that are in place to really support our students from the moment that they start with SGU. Now, another important question is, where will my SGU medical degree allow me to practice medicine? Now, as you saw at the beginning of today's presentation, the vast majority of students who join us are currently licensed in the US. So out of our 19,000 alumni, 11,627 are currently licensed in the US. So we have graduates practicing in all 50 states in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, and in over 50 countries around the world. SGU is accredited by Grenada Medical and Dental Council, which is deemed by the US Department of Education as an accreditation comparable to a US accreditation. Now, the next question is, what will my life be like at SGU? And this is a really important question because we've got our main campus, which is our True Blue campus in Grenada. We have our partner university. I myself am based in the UK, so it's here in the UK, which is Northumbria and Newcastle. And then we have our affiliate hospitals as well in the US and in the UK. What's really important to note that our facilities are state-of-the-art facilities. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box. I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit too fast for anyone, but we will have a Q&A session at the end of today's session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box and we will go through them during the Q&A session. And then I also included my contact details as well in the chat function. If you ever want to do one-to-one meeting to really go through the program in depth or go through your own profile in depth and to help support you with the application process, please feel free to reach out to both myself and to my partner here, which is SI UK, and I will include some further contact details as well for you to reach out to. Now, as I said, in terms of our facilities, we have state-of-the-art purpose-built facilities. And for our True Blue campus, we have our student accommodation on campus, as I've stated. We have our own gym, outdoor recreation activities. We have a shuttle bus, as you can see, that runs from 7 a.m. till 2 a.m. within campus and within a 5-mile radius of campus. We have over 65 different student clubs, and those clubs run from professional to academic, from professional to spiritual to sport clubs and much more. So anything you're interested in, there will definitely be a group for you to join. And this is really, really important because our students' wellness is really important to us throughout their medical studies. We also have, as I said, a number of outdoor recreation activities at SGU. So a fun fact is 80% of our students are scuba certified by the time they graduate from SGU. And that's because Grenada is actually the top diving destination in the Caribbean. And the Caribbean is one of the top 3 diving destinations around the world. So as you can see here, we've got students running marathons at the gym, we've got art activities, we've got yoga, and we've got a number of different outdoor sports activities, including basketball, tennis, and much more. And then with regards to also, as I said, with our Northumbria partner here in the UK, which is Northumbria University, they too have state-of-the-art facilities. We have student university accommodation as well at Northumbria, which is within a 15-minute walk to campus. And that accommodation is actually designated for SGU students. So you'll be there with students who are on the same path as yourselves. Another important question as well that we get is, how can I see where I'll be studying medicine? So prior to COVID, and this is an initiative that we hope to bring back very soon now, we ran an initiative which was called the CSGU initiative. And the CSGU initiative encouraged students to come and visit the campus, to take a campus tour, to sit in lectures, to meet with students, to meet with faculty. And it was a great opportunity for you to see what your SGU life would be like. And then we also reimbursed students who matriculated. So students who actually enrolled, ended up enrolling at St. George's University School of Medicine, were reimbursed the cost of that travel, and in terms of their fare costs and in terms of their accommodation stay. But obviously there was a terms and condition on the number of nights. But for now, until that is reinstated, I would encourage you to definitely visit our website to take a look through our virtual tour and to definitely utilize our social media pages. We have loads of different videos that are available to you on a number of different social media platforms. Please do visit those platforms and see these videos that have been created by our marketing team, and many of them also been created and presented by our students. Now, another really important question as we're coming towards the end of the presentation is there financial aid? And this is a really important question. What's important to note is 75% of our international students are on some form of scholarship. So we do try and support our students where possible. There are a number of different scholarships that are awarded to students. It's important to note that scholarships are not guaranteed. However, there are a number of different scholarships opportunities that are available to you. You don't need to submit an additional application for a scholarship. The way it works is when you do get accepted onto the program, it's at that point that you can be considered for a scholarship opportunity, and that is really by completing a document that we would provide to you at that point. And then our scholarship committee would review your profile to make an assessment as to whether or not you would be granted a scholarship. And if you are successful and you are granted a scholarship, then you would know the amount of scholarship that you would be awarded. It's important to note that scholarships are partial scholarships. We do not offer any form of full scholarships, I'm afraid. And with partial scholarships, I would say that they may range between $20,000 to a maximum of $80,000 US, and that is for the full duration of the program. Another important question is, how do I apply? Today, I am on this virtual information session with our partner here in the UK, one of our partners here in the UK, which is SI UK London, and they are here to support you throughout the application process. So if you are interested in applying, please do reach out to them and they will support you throughout each and every step of the application process. The way it works is you would apply through SIUK, provide them with the supporting documents. So depending on your entry level, generally we look for a copy of your passport, your transcripts and certificates. We require 2 letters of recommendation. And then depending on your nationality and background, we would require an English proficiency test. So we require an IELTS 7 with no element less than 7, or a minimum of 100 on the TOEFL. Once we receive your full application and your full supporting documents, it is at that point that you will go under initial review, and that is for our faculty committee to review your application for a decision to be made as to whether or not you would be granted an interview. So if you are successful, you are granted a virtual interview, which again, SIUK can help support you in terms of what to expect during interview. And the interview is a virtual interview that is conducted via Zoom, and it is conducted with an SGU alumni, which is a fantastic opportunity for you to talk to someone who one day was exactly where you are today. So we always encourage students to make sure that the interview is actually a two-way communication. And then once the interview is conducted, you go under final review for a final decision as to whether or not you are accepted onto the program. So if you are successful, then you are accepted onto the program, and you get your conditional offer for the conditions to be met. And then you need to pay your deposit to secure your place at St. George's University School of Medicine. And then we go through the process of accommodation and visa if required, before you're able to join us on campus and start your career in medicine. And we definitely look forward to that. What's really important to note is I would like to highlight the fact that we are still accepting applications for 2022 intake. So for our main campus, which is our True Blue campus in Grenada, the Caribbean, our intake starts August 2022. For our partner university here in the UK, which is Northumbria University, the intake actually starts in September 2022. So I would definitely encourage you to submit your application at the earliest if you're looking for an August/September 2022 intake, as applications can take up to 6 weeks to be processed. We also have another intake, which is January for our main campus for most programs. And then some programs are offered at Northumbria in January as well. And then the final question that I would like to end with today before we move on to our poll and our Q&A is, why is SGU the place to start my medical career? And this is a really, really important question as we finish today. So if we think about what are some of the reasons as to why SGU would be the right place for you to study medicine, we can definitely think about the exceptional residency placement rates. So as we said, we are the #1 provider into first-year US residency, and we have been for the last 12 years combined. Our outstanding USMLE results, both of which lead us to being the #1, the largest source of physicians for the entire US workforce. Another one definitely is clinical rotations in 75 plus leading US and UK hospitals. The third one is our small class experience with the benefits of a larger university. So as we said, 75% of classes and labs are given in a ratio of 8:1, but at the same time, you still have the benefits of a larger university in terms of the faculties, in terms of the faculty members, in terms of the facilities themselves being state-of-the-art facilities and what they have to offer you. We also obviously have the curriculum itself, the MD program at a number of different entry levels, depending on your academic background, in addition to all of the personalized support and guidance that is offered at SGU. And finally, as we said, state-of-the-art teaching facilities, accommodation, student life, and opportunities. Now, one of the things that I highlighted today was our US pathway, and that is the route to becoming a licensed physician in the US. However, I would like to also remind you all that we also have a UK pathway, which basically is the route to becoming a licensed physician in the UK. And then we also have students practicing in over 50 countries around the world. So some of our students choose the return pathway, and that means after you graduate your MD, you go back to your home country or the country that you reside in to practice medicine there. And I just want to leave you with two more things. This one is SU's graduates, the fact that SU's graduates have practiced at all US News and World Report's top US hospitals. So these are some of the top hospitals that our SU graduates have been practicing in. I will also leave you with a testimonial from one of our alumni. If you decide to join us, you will be joining a very strong alumni network of doctors in all specialities who have successful careers, not only in the United States, but around the world. And this is a testimonial from one of our alumni here in the UK. And before I start the Q&A session, my colleague Ravina is just going to put up two polls for you. And the polls will basically include first of all, an inquiry as to what intake you are interested in. And the other poll will cover what entry level do you think you would be interested in. So Ravina, there we are. Thank you, Ravina.
So just to read out the questions to everyone, as Bethana mentioned, the first question is, which intake are you interested in? And the options are August 2022, Jan 2023, and August 2023. So yeah, do take a moment to answer that. And the second question is about what program you'd like to apply to. So that's MD4, MD5, MD6, and MD7. So do pick whatever is most relevant to you.
Thank you, Ravina.
Great. If you want, I can share the results of the poll now with you.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I think we've actually got everyone answered this one.
Perfect.
Oh, lovely. Everyone has said.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Ravina. Perfect. It's lovely to see that 50% of you are looking at August 22 because you still have time to apply. So I would definitely encourage you to apply as soon as possible. Now, I will now move on to, thank you very much for that, Ravina, I really appreciate it. I'll now move on to some of the questions that have come up in the chat. I will read them out and answer them, and then we will take it from there. So both questions that have come in are with regards to entry requirements and application procedure. So they might have come in before I've actually gone through it. But to apply, please contact SRUK, and my colleague Ravina will put up some contact details for you. Please do reach out to them. They will help you with the application process. It's basically an online application that you would need to complete, and then you would need to provide them with all of your supporting documents. And then, as I said, from there, we'd move on to initial review, if successful, interview, then final review, and then if successful, offer. And then once we got to offer, it's at that stage that you can be considered for a scholarship opportunity. Now, in terms of entry requirements, obviously the entry requirements vary depending on your entry level. It's important to note that obviously when applying to medicine, the faculty committee are reviewing your application holistically. So they're taking taking into account your academic background, but they are also taking into account your personal statement, your extracurriculars / volunteer / work experience, and they are also taking into account your letters of recommendation. The example, I'll give an example for the entry requirements. For example, for the A-level entry requirement, the minimum, I'll give you the minimum. So the A-level entry requirements minimum is 3 Bs, and that's the absolute minimum for us to consider an applicant. Ravina has shared the contact information for you to reach out to SI UK, as I said, as they will be able to support you throughout the application process. I've also left my contact information here for you. You can either take a picture of the barcode, or you can take them down. As I stated, please do feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to set one-to-one meetings where you feel you want a bit more time to go through your individual case, or if you have any additional questions that you're just not comfortable asking right now, please feel free to email me, or you can always schedule in a Calendly link using my Calendly link. So with the IELTS requirement is academic IELTS, and we require an IELTS of 7.0 with no element less than 7. And that is regardless of the entry level. So whether that be, for example, the 4, 5, 6, or 7-year MD, regardless of the entry level, the IELTS requirement is an IELTS 7. I would encourage you all to visit our website. You will be able to see all the different international curriculums that are available online, and that you will be able to see the entry level for each and every one of those curriculums on our website. And as I said, please take into account that applications are reviewed holistically, and it does not simply come down to meeting the entry requirements from an academic perspective. So just to go through a few more questions, I'm just going to share this one more time just for everyone. I've just sent in a link right now into the chat box, and that link is a Calendly link. And what that means is you can click on that link to schedule in a 30-minute one-to-one meeting with me. And you would be able to do that at any time, Monday to Friday. It will show you my availability, and you'll be able to schedule in a meeting. More than happy to do that so we can discuss your case individually. Now, as an offering, we are a School of Medicine, and we offer medicine, and we offer it as an MD degree. We do not offer pharmacy, I'm afraid.
But then I've also had one kind of student question come in privately, so I think they want to keep their identity anonymous. But they've got an IELTS score of 6.30, I think it's 6.5 probably, instead of a 7. They're asking, is there no pre-sessional English course for them?
There are. So we do offer a pre-sessional. So depending on what their circumstances are, whether the total, because sometimes the total can be an IELTS 6.5, but you can still have a band that's much lower than that if you've got other bands that are much higher than that. So again, we'd have to know what your individual case is, but we do offer an 11-week pre-sessional, and we offer a 6-week pre-sessional. So we can definitely talk about that. And that's really for our preclinical students. For our MD4 students, we offer sometimes alternative programs if they don't qualify to enter our MD4 directly. So you could go through, for example, a Charter Foundation program, and that is to bridge, for example, either, to bridge both academic and English gaps where needed. But as I said, we could definitely talk about individual cases when you do reach out to SI UK, or if you'd like to schedule in a 30-minute one-to-one call with me this week or next, then I'd welcome you to do so. So what I'd like to what I'd like to encourage everyone is just to mention one thing for those of you who are asking about August intake. As I said, on our main campus, our start date is actually mid-August 2022, and our start date for our Northumbria, for our partner university here in the UK, Northumbria, it's actually September 22. And as I said, application processes can actually take anything from 4 to 6 weeks, and that's after you've submitted a full application and provided your full supporting documents. So if you are considering an August 2022 or September 2022 intake, I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible, as you definitely do need some time to be able to get a final decision. And then from there, as I stated, you would still need to go through some additional stages, such as, arranging your accommodation and arranging your visa if necessary. So if you are one of those August/September 2022 students, please do submit an application this week or next at the very latest. So another question has just come in. You can apply from anywhere around the world. So as I said, we have 103 different nationalities on campus represented this year. Just to give you a bit of a background, we actually recruit globally. So I myself am based in London, but similar to myself, I've got colleagues who are based all around the world. So you are welcome to apply to us regardless of where you are around the world. So Vivian, good question. So I'm just going to go back to this for everyone, because this is, I think, a very important question. And Vivian has asked, is there any chance I can study all years in the UK? So Vivian, that will depend. The answer is no, because you will see that regardless of your entry level, you will have a 1-year mandatory in Grenada, which is our main campus. So I'll take the example of the 4-year MD, and I'm not sure, Vivian, what your academic background is, but I'll take the 4-year MD as an example. So if we look at the 4-year MD degree, and this is only for students who have already completed a Bachelor's of Science in Biomedical Sciences or any related field, you can see that the UK flag is represented 3 times. And you can see year 2 is the Grenadian flag, which means it is mandatory for you to complete this year on our main campus in Grenada. And the reason we've made one of the years mandatory is because ultimately when you graduate, you're going to graduate with an MD degree from St. George's University School of Medicine. So it's important for us that you experience our main campus in Grenada. Grenada is a beautiful, beautiful island. If you've never been, it's a beautiful island. Our facilities themselves are state-of-the-art facilities. One of our partners here at SIUK, Apurva, has actually visited this month, and he'll be able to tell you more about that. If you actually reach out to him, he will be able to tell you his own experience of how the campus was. But believe me, Grenada would be an absolutely brilliant opportunity for you. If anything, as I said, it's not only just about, the fact that it is state-of-the-art facilities in a beautiful island, but it's the fact that also having multiple locations actually gives you a competitive advantage when it comes to applying to your residencies, because you have been subjected to more than one medical healthcare system before you've even graduated your MD degree. And this is one of our competitive advantages. The other thing that I would like to highlight here to everyone is that there is a 50-50 rule that applies to the UK, which means that the maximum period you can study in the UK, and this applies only to the UK, is 50% of the overall program. So what that means is, we'll take the 4-year MD as an example, is you can see the UK flag is represented 3 times, but because of the 50-50 rule, it means that the maximum you can do in the UK is 2 out of the 4 years. So you could choose, for example, example, to do your first year in Northumbria, do your second year in Grenada, then do one of your clinical rotations in the UK and one in the US. And that way you'll have actually maximized your healthcare experience and given yourself a huge competitive advantage. The 50-50 rule applies to anyone who requires a student visa to study in the UK. So if you are a UK national, or if you are someone who has a permanent residency in the UK or an EU with a settlement status in the UK, then the 50-50 rule would not apply to you. Okay, any other questions I can support with today? I believe Ravina's answered all the other questions that I might have not covered, but as I said, please feel free to reach out to myself or to my colleagues at SI UK. We will be able to support you throughout your application process. And once you've applied, we can always get you in touch with current students and alumni students should you wish to talk to them about their SGU experience and how SGU has led to their current medical successful career. Any other questions anyone would like addressed today? Okay, all right, well, one's just come in. Okay, again, with the entry requirements, please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to go onto our website to look at the entry requirements for each and every one of the international curriculums. You'll be able to see the entry requirements for your curriculum on the website. And also please schedule in a 30-minute meeting with me this week or next so we can actually have a discussion about your specific academic background. You can have your documents with you. We can go through them and I can better counsel you based on your academic background as to what the entry requirements specifically would be for you and what would be the best point of entry for you.
Great, thank you so much, Buthena. I think we've had a final one come in about student accommodations. I don't know if you wanted to give a quick 1 minute on that before we wrap up.
Yes, of course. So just to let you know, in terms of student accommodation, I would like to highlight that it is mandatory to live on campus for your first year of studies. We actually have state-of-the-art student accommodation, so really high quality facilities. On our main campus in Grenada, the student accommodation is actually on campus. And for our partner university here in the UK, Northumbria University, again, it is university accommodation. It's actually Trinity Square. Again, high quality accommodation, university accommodation that is within walking distance of the university itself. And the accommodation, there are different types of accommodation. So there is ensuite and there is shared accommodation as well. And as I said, we can definitely talk about this in depth during our individual meetings. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your schedules today to attend today's presentation. Thank you, Ravina, and your colleagues at SI UK for hosting me today. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are around the world. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Buthena. That was a really informative session. And just so that everyone's aware, there is a recording of the session available on YouTube, which I've posted in the chat. So do feel free to share it with your friends, rewatch it if you need any reminders of any information that was shared today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.